Hello everyone, welcome to episode 1 of this Flask series, where we are building postcodes directory, a real Flask website that we will later deploy on VPS and a custom domain. To get a better idea of what we are building, check out the demo in episode 0. Today, we will download the geonames data and set up our database and SqlAlchemy models. As you can see, I have already created a new empty project directory. So let's start by downloading the geonames data. Okay, so we are on the geonames.org website, and from here we have two datasets. First one is the postal code table. Here is the schema. Let's download it. And another one is the main geonames table, and it looks like that. Let's download it as well. And now let's extract and preview the postcode table. As you can see, it's just standard CSV tab separated. Later we will create Python scripts to import both of these files into our database. Here is the geonames table, and that one is much bigger. It's almost 2 gigabytes. Okay, so now let's move it to our project. Change the name of postcodes. Okay, so now we can start with our database setup. Let's create database. At first, let's make virtual environment. Activate and install SqlAlchemy. Okay, so from SqlAlchemy, also let's restart language server so it correctly detects our virtual environment. Okay, so from SqlAlchemy, let's import create engine, set database URL, SqlIte and postcodes, and let's create the engine. And also let's import from SqlAlchemy ORM, import declarative base. So we can create base that we will later use in our models. So let's do that right now. Okay, so now let's import from database, import the base that we just declared, and we can create the new models using that base. So class postcode, let's make postal code base, table name, let's make it postal codes. Okay, so now let's go to the schema. So now let's create our columns based on the data that we have in our CSV. Actually, let's make it bigger so you can see it clearly. And same for VS Code. Hope it's big enough for you. Okay, so let's start with the ID. But before, don't forget to from SqlIte column. We will also use float and integer. So let's import that as well. Okay, so ID is column integer and make it primary key. Okay, so now we can create the columns that the CSV actually has. So let's start with country code. Later is postal code. But this one is the 20 length. Place name is 180. Okay, now time for admin. And we have 3 of those, so let's copy it 3 times. Okay, now is the latitude. And longitude is the same. And accuracy is the integer. And okay, that's the first table. Maybe let's create a database out of that. So let's make create db.python. Okay, so now we, from database, we import the engine and base. Import the models as well. And on that base, we use metadata and create all. We provide engine. And it should create a SqlAlchemy database. So we can preview our model. And it did. Okay, so as you can see, we have all the columns that we just defined. So let's go back to the models and start geonames table now. That one. Okay, so we can start by just copying that. There are a lot of the same columns. So let's make it geoname. Geonames. And here ID is the geoname ID. Next one is the name, so and the name is 200. Alternate names is varchar 10,000, so let's just remove that. Okay, latitude, longitude, so it's the same. Feature class, feature code. So let's make and it is 1 and 10. The country stays the same, but here we also have CC2, which is varchar 200. Okay, now admin code. so we don't need the name. But this time there is 4 of them, so let's make another one. And is it also 20? No, one of them is 80. Let's change that. Oh, okay, so we have population next. Elevation is the same. The dam is the same. And time zone is varchar 40, okay. Let's just copy that. Modification is date, so let's import date. Okay, and that's all for the geonames table. Let's run the script and see if it updated. Yes, we have another table. And it looks correct. Okay, so right now we make the add models with create all, but this is really unreliable as it will only create new models, and we want to update something in our current models. It won't update in the database. So in the next episode we will add Alembic to our project, so we have migrations. But for now, let's add all we have right now to our GitHub repository. So first let me create a repository. Let's get this off screen for a moment. Okay, I have created a new repository. So I like to start with copying that. And we have new repo. Okay, so first maybe let's add a readme. Let's also make new directory. Let's move it here and the files are too big and I won't be able to add them to GitHub. So for that, we will just add the links to download if you want to follow along and do it yourself. And that's postcodes. And let's also get the geoname table. We also need the git ignore to actually ignore that data. But first let's pycache. And it's ignored. Let's check it. So we can also, after every episode, there will be a separate commit, so you can easily check the status of the project after each episode, and you can easily find what you are interested in. So in the first episode we just did database, and models. Let's git push it. And preview the repo. In the description there will be a link to the repository and the website URL. Okay, that's all for this episode. See you in the next one.